Live Laugh Stuck is a self-indulgent podcast featuring a heart player encouraging you to be self-indulgent too. Welcome home.
Excellent.
Cool. Well, we lost Craig. Craig left my server. Did I not use him enough?
I
Did
don't
he
know.
not love me?
Craig hates you now, Jax.
Craig hates me, but Craig's back now, so it's okay. I'll keep inviting him back no matter how long it takes. Um anyway, yeah. This is Live Laugh Stuck. Previously, Jaxta's Homestuck. I think I'm gonna stop saying that once January is done. We'll see. Uh, and this is going to be an episode of Fanstuck, where we talk about the doomed timelines, which is a fuck. I just can't fucking talk.
It's okay. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, hold on. Like I had this whole like spiel planned in my head, and then I started saying the words, and it was
Oh, that's a
like,
big
nah,
mood.
nah, it's fine. Yeah, Domi is here to talk about her project. Domi, what is your project about?
So, what the Doomed Timelines is it is a podfic podcast, which I am using to mean that it is a podcast where I gather together voice actors and we all do dramatic readings of fanfic. And it's pretty fun. I like it a lot. Periodically, there's also an audio drama on the back end that hasn't happened since the first episode, but I'm getting scripts written for it so that we can have it happen more often, featuring Mobius Trip and Hadron Collido, who are my favorite underused characters in this fandom.
Yeah, so who the fuck are they?
Okay, so basically, a long ass time ago, back when back when you didn't have to be a special person to be on the Homestuck music team, because it was all like on a forum, and in order to get your song submitted to be considered to be a part of the soundtrack, you just popped a finished song in a particular subforum. Anyway, back in these days, Andrew decided that he wanted to have like a sort of like Gorillaz style fake band that existed in the world of Homestuck. And so Andrew Hussey reached out to Michael Guy Bowman, who also wrote Suburban Jungle and some other good shit on the soundtrack. And Michael made Mobius Trip and Hadron Collido, who are self-insert characters of himself and one of his friends. And the basic lore is that they are a pair of nemeses who fought on opposite sides of the Prospician and Dursite War. But they were brought together because the both of them had solved the ultimate riddle. And now they travel through paradox space, spreading hints for other riddle seekers through their music. And Mobius Trip and Hadron Collido is a real album. It's not on the Homestuck Bandcamp anymore. You have to go to Michael Guy Bowman's Bandcamp to find it now, because I guess somebody reorganized it and decided, I guess they just didn't make the cut, but we know very little about the characters, and I love them a lot.
So, what does a fake Gorillaz-esque band have to do with the doomed timelines?
That's a very fair question, actually. And the answer is I'm not really sure where this is on their timeline yet. Like, I'm not sure if this is before or after they solved... Or, well, obviously it's after they solved the riddle, because they're working together. But I'm not sure if it's before or after they started doing music. But the basic idea of the plot for them is that they are exploring the dream bubbles and collecting records of various doomed timelines that they can study, because they detected the timeline split that happened as a result of the epilogues, right? Where the alpha timeline branched off and has two coexisting branches.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that if they study enough Doom timelines and what happened with the epilogues enough, then they might be able to find a way to undoom the timelines. And that's their basic overall goal.
Yeah, and it's super fucking cool. And it's at this point I should probably, like, if y'all don't know, I am actually a part of the Doomed timelines, and more than just like a voice actor. I am Domi has promoted me to producer.
Yes, because
uh,
I bounce a lot of ideas off of you, and you help me organize stuff.
I helped you once, and then I got very bad at it, and you've been
Nah,
doing it ever since.
like you still do quite a bit for the podcast, honestly.
I appreciate that. I also voice Hadron Collido.
Yes, and I voice Mobius Trip.
Yes, and so that's exciting. I'm excited to see where the story with those two go. Having a podfic podcast have like an overarching plot is really neat. I don't listen to other podfic podcasts, so I can't
Well,
say if it's original,
I
but I'm
don't
gonna
think
say
they
it is.
really exist. Like, they don't exist for Homestuck, at least. Like, admittedly, I haven't looked into other fandoms, but for Homestuck, for sure, they definitely don't exist. Podfic is just a thing that people typically record like a one and done.
Yeah.
But like the point of this podcast is to focus on taking like smaller word count fics. I typically try to go below 1200. 1200 is very small. 120,000, I think. God, I can't
No,
remember numbers.
that's huge.
That's really huge.
That's big.
I am thinking of 12,000, Jax. I am
in
thinking
between. You just went
I am
magnitudes.
I can't do numbers. See, this is my issue. I can't do math, and I can't organize shit, which is why you are there to help me out on the podcast, is to help me organize shit and keep myself reasonable.
Yeah, don't do 120,000 word fix.
No, it's 12,000. But I actually do. I'm thinking about trying to put together I'm thinking about trying to put together like a crew of people who would be if people would be interested in doing like a longer form, like with a lot of chapters fic. But that really depends.
We're here
on...
to announce that we're going to be covering Callum Traveler's Stargate
Oh God,
Alternia.
no! Oh God, no! God, no! Though I honestly have considered maybe putting like the first chapter of that on the show, perhaps.
Yeah,
I just haven't read it yet.
The first act, I'm pretty sure, is supposed to be fairly self-contained because it was Cal deciding if he wanted to do the whole thing or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be neat. But yeah.
God, no. Stargate Alternia would be
years.
an undertaking.
On the bright side, he has a soundtrack for it because he does his own like flashes, except they're just words, and he
this
tells
is
us
true.
the song.
This is true. I've just done that ADHD thing where I went off on 50 topics and I lost what the original point I was trying to make was.
That you want to do a longer form thing.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to get people together to do a longer form thing that is like separate from the podcast, like sort of a TDT presents type thing. But
yeah,
it's just an idea kicking around in the back of my mind at the moment.
For sure. No, that sounds neat. That'd be cool. Once you get more time to do stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very busy, especially this January. I don't know what it is about January this year, but it's kicking my ass with shit to do.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's my birthday month for you.
Yeah. It's like the Monday of years. Or
hey,
the Monday of
don't
months.
Be that mean to my birthday month. It's a good month.
Jax, January is the Monday of months.
I hate you so much. It's like the Friday of months. Uh, anyway, so you said that you get voice actors on. So
Yeah,
these aren't just like there's no like set Homestuck voice actors.
yeah. So what we do is for each fic, I go through and I highlight in color each character's lines. And I'm thinking of trying to find different ways to format it, but I segment it out so that each character is like separated out from the narration, and uh, then I do auditions not just for the narrator but also for each individual character, so that when everybody records everything and I go in and put it together, you'll have the narration flow into a voice actor doing their character voice and then back into the narration.
So you do auditions each time. It's not just like, well, you've cast a car
Oh,
cat
yes.
and that's
It's
the car cat.
every fic has a different cast for it. And I did this specifically because I wanted to do a long form thing that was sustainable and would allow for us to hear from more than just singular voice actors. Because the Homestuck voice acting community is really cool, but it's also like really kind of insular and hard to break into if you don't know what you're doing. And that's not a bad thing. I love everybody in the community, but like one of the things that I really wanted to do here was to provide like a jumping off point for people to sort of dip their toes into the water with Homestuck voice acting.
Yeah, and it's been great. So yeah, because you don't have to have any experience to come here. You just have to like have a mic that sounds good enough to like
Yeah.
be on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't like necessarily fancy mics or anything.
Yeah, and I actually I've been working on trying to include the authors for fics in the decisions for casting, but I also do keep note of what people have been cast for how many parts, so that I can make sure that if someone's been cast, a ton, I can back off and let somebody else be cast once in a while.
So Anna can't take every Vriska role.
Yeah, so Anna can't take every Visca role. Because we all know that's what would happen.
Yeah. Anna just gets in and typecasts herself and gets those roles.
Yeah.
Because she's very good at it.
But there's a lot of other really cool Vriskas out there, and I want to be sure to get all of them, like, I want to be sure all their voices get heard.
Absolutely. Like, I love Anna's Vriska, but I also want to hear more Gremlin Vriskas.
Oh god, Gremlin Vriska is so good.
That's the Vriska I love. Again, Anna's Vriska is great, and I love everything she does, but Gremlin Vriskas are also much needed in this fandom.
For sure. I everybody talks about having like Invader Zim headcanons for Karkat or Caliborn, but I never hear full-on Gremlin Zim type voices for those characters.
Yeah.
And I would love somebody to come in and audition like that.
That would be good. I also feel like it would destroy someone's throat.
God, you right though.
But if you can do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just come on and audition for stuff, and because it's great. It's a lot of fun. Like even if you don't get a part, like it's fun trying out a bunch of different characters.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
For Genesis, I tried out Rufio, and that was a lot
and
of
that
fun.
turned out pretty good.
Well, thank you. I did not get Rufio.
Yeah,
but...
you didn't get Rufio, but we did like when we were casting for Rufio, like we did definitely consider you. You made the short list. It was a good Rufio.
See, Domi's sucking up because she's on my podcast now.
No, I'm telling you, it was a good. I DM'd you when you submitted that audition and said, "Hey, that's a good Rufio."
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm messing. There were a lot of great auditions for those, which was really great because, like, there aren't as many Dancestor projects, but God, when they are, people come out of the woodworks for that shit.
People love the Dancestors. Like, I swear to God, if you have any Dancester idea and you want clout, do your Dancester idea. You'll get the clout.
Also, just at Crow.
Also at Crow. Crow is a slut for Dancester auditions.
Yes.
Not auditions.
I'm going to cut that particular part out of this podcast,
fair.
and
I'm
that's
sorry.
going to be my no. I'm saying I'm going to use it as promo material.
Oh, good.
Just Crow's a slut. This is okay because we're really good friends with Crow. Do not do this to Crow if you do not know Crow.
Oh yeah, this is true. This is true.
Don't do this to random people. We're friends with Crow. It's fine. I got to do that disclaimer because sometimes people don't know. You know, people's got to know.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I love Crow. We're very good friends with them. Every mean thing we say about Crow is in full jest.
Half jest.
Half jest.
But anyway, back to Domi's project.
Yeah. So what I was going to say, there's opportunities for people to try out tons of characters and tons of different characters that they might not normally get to. But something that I've actually been thinking about a lot lately is the narrator role, because like that's a really unique thing that I don't think we get to experience or work with a lot in this fandom, just because there's not a whole lot of like voice acting projects that require a narrator. But the narrator role in TDT is really important and really like integral. Like the narrator is one of the absolute biggest parts you can get in the show, and to be able to do it really well is fantastic. It takes a lot of hard work to get to do a narrator really well.
Yeah, I love narrators. Narrators set the tone for the whole thing because they're what you're going to be hearing like throughout most of the fic.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't to scare anyone from trying out the narrator. Like, please try out all the roles. Even if you don't think you'll be good at it, just do it.
For sure.
Just do it.
Definitely try out narrator. And in particular, if you're going to try out narrator, the tips I would give you would be to pace yourself. Definitely talk slow. Don't try to rush it too fast just because you have a lot of lines. And also, don't be afraid to emote. I think a lot of people, when they do narrator, sort of get into this mindset of, yes, I'm a passive observer. I'm just letting people know what is happening, and are very matter of fact about it. But it's actually very important that the narrator have some emotion to their voices, especially since most Homestuck fics are written in second person. A lot of it is trying to evoke particular emotions within the audience and trying to make them feel stuff.
Yeah, narrator emoting is like super important. It's really big deal.
Mm-hmm. I've been meaning to. I want to put together like a little document of like, so you're thinking about trying out for TDT narrator, and just pointing out like a bunch of tips and tricks to help people do it well. Because like I said, it's a weird thing. We don't often get to experience it in the fandom.
Yeah, and like it'll also depend. Like different fics will have different types of narrators, and the different narrators are gonna have different personalities. Even if it's supposed to be third person, like narration has personality. Even if like the writer isn't intending it when they're writing it, like just it happens.
Yeah, because the writer has their own voice. You know,
Yeah.
like this is a thing that writers talk about a lot, is finding your voice and stuff. And like when a writer does find their voice, it's very, it gives their work a personality, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that when you are the narrator that you work to like serve and show off that personality.
Yeah. And that's just another thing. Like we don't want one type of narrator and only that type of narrator, because there's a bunch of different types of narrators. So like for the different voices, like there's not just like if you hear Kanaya in one thing, that's not the only type of Kanaya voice we want.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I actually really want to do is Nowadays, you don't have people writing them a lot, but I remember in the olden days, at least, you would have ye olden days of the Homestuck fandom. Back in my day, back in my day, we would have a lot of fics that were either in third or first person, and maybe I'm just like, not checking out the right fics or whatever. But I think one thing that would be really cool is to one day get a third or first person fic on the show, especially first person, because then you get to have the narrator also be in character, and that's really interesting.
That would be neat. I don't read a lot of first person because I personally have a very particular first person taste.
That's fair.
Um, but yeah, third person. I didn't even realize we didn't have that many third person on, but it definitely makes sense. Homestuck really kind of pushes you into second person.
Yeah, for sure. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I like
No,
second person a lot. I'm glad that Homestuck has gotten so many people to write primarily in second person.
yeah, it's very neat. But yeah, so that's another thing. If you don't want to voice act, but you write fics, like,
Yeah, hit me up, please. Literally, just throw your fix at me. Just at me on Twitter, at the podcast on Twitter. I will read it.
or join the Discord
Or
and
join
send
the
it there.
Discord and send it there. I will absolutely read it because I'm always voraciously looking for fix for this show. And anything you send me is something that I don't have to go out and find, you know?
Yep.
And that rings true not just if you're a writer, but also if you just read fic and have some favorites, toss them my way. It helps a lot if they're newer fics, because then that makes it easier for me to try and get in contact with the writer and ask them if they're cool with me using the fic and get their opinions on casting and everything. But if you have an older fic that you really like, toss it my way. I'll see if I can hunt down the person who wrote it.
Yeah, that is one unfortunate thing. We can't use like abandoned accounts or anything. Like we
Yeah,
gotta, yeah,
but I'd still be happy to read.
yeah. Make Domi read everything.
Make me read everything.
Just read everything.
That's the one gripe I have about starting this show is the amount of reading I have to do now.
You say right after saying you just want to read every like you voraciously are looking for fanfics.
I am voraciously looking for fanfics, but it's because I have to.
Oh no.
I have to keep the show going.
Yeah.
I've started a monster and now I must continually feed it.
Yeah.
Oh, that said though, speaking of auditions, I think it's the 19th we are supposed to be putting up another set of auditions. I am not sure what fic that is going to be just yet, but I have ideas.
Oh, you have a short amount of time to figure that out.
I do, but that's okay. Like, I actually have been reading a few, and I have a couple that I'm interested in. I'm just still peeking around, getting my bearings.
That's fair. So the 19th is that a Monday?
That's a Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah. So
I'm not sure when this will be coming out, but
what or yeah, that's right. This won't be coming out this Wednesday because I have another episode for this Wednesday. I'm recording ahead of time, guys. Look at me. I'm doing a good
yeah,
job.
okay. So in that case, the set of auditions will already be out, and you can go find a link to them probably on @TDTcast or on @TDTcast. You can find a link to our Discord server where you will definitely be able to find a link to the auditions.
Yeah, and just hanging out in the server is great. Like even if you aren't an author or aren't suggesting fics or don't want to voice act, like we just talk
Yeah,
about stuff in there too.
absolutely. Come on in, say hi, tell all my glorious actors how awesome their voices are, because I swear to God, all of my actors are so good.
Absolutely. Like there's so much talent in this fandom, and I'm really glad that the Doom Timelines is here to kind of raise up more people. So we're not just talking about the Voxus crew, which okay, so I'm really a bad example because like I didn't get into the fandom until like a year ago, and I still haven't caught up with everything I'm supposed to know as a Homestuck fan. I have no fucking idea who the Voxus crew are. I guess they're doing a popular Homestuck read through.
Yeah, that's what they're known for. They also have other stuff, and
Yeah.
they read through other Homestuck adjacent stuff and not Homestuck adjacent stuff. They're
But
but yeah,
apparently they're like the big shots in the voice acting like part of the fandom, and that's cool. Like it's good to have like popular people to look up to and stuff, but it's also nice to be like, yeah, are you just now deciding you want to try voice acting? Get in here and try it out.
Yeah, like, we're an old fandom. We gotta have entry points, you know? I don't want it to be monolithic. I want everybody to have a shot.
Absolutely.
Because one thing you really run into with old fandoms like this, God, this fandom is a decade old. Have you realized that, Jax? Have you ever stopped and thought about the fact that Homestuck is a decade old?
We did have an anniversary for it last year, in which, yes, we all stopped and thought about it, and I had an episode about it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
God.
half your lifespan.
It is half of my life. Homestuck has
It's
existed for half the time I've been on this earth.
it's a bit more than a third of mine.
But, like, my point is, when you get a fandom that's this old, you start to get people who sit at the top, right? And they seem monolithic and unapproachable. But, like, one thing that I've definitely learned in my time in this fandom is that 90% of them are not monolithic or unapproachable. They are neither of those things.
Absolutely.
And it, like, that's why I think TDT and projects like it are so important, is to give people those entry points to start working with those people, you know?
Yeah. And like maybe you'll do this, realize you like it, and want to do your own voice acting projects.
And that'll be awesome.
Absolutely. And I will get with you and Anna is in like every fucking singing and voice acting project in this fandom, I swear to God.
Oh yeah, so... Anna is at most 2 degrees of separation away from good content at all times.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Anna is articulately composed. I had her on for my first ever Fanstuck episode about her musical Time's Apprentice.
Still so good.
Yes. So check that out, since I've name dropped Anna several times because I like to make fun of her because she's in everything.
It's
which
good,
is great.
Though.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like she finds projects and she gets in them and she just like knows people. It's fantastic.
And then she'll let you know about all of the awesome shit that's happening.
Yeah, she'll let you know. She has her own stuff going on and she'll ask for people to voice stuff with her. It's great. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is there's so much room to grow like in voice acting and do your own projects. And yeah, like if you want to do something in this fandom, just do it. Make your own zine, even if it kills Crow, because Crow has the zine archive that they keep up with.
That's Crow's fault.
That's Crow's fault, and you should burden them with good content.
Hey, that's the best way to be burdened.
Yeah, I'll tell Crow. Like, make your own podcast. Like, podcasts are great. I've seen a couple pop up. Some haven't had second episodes, as far as I know. I've been trying to keep an eye out on some of them, and yeah, and make your own resources. Like,
I should make a public list on Twitter of all of the Homestuck podcast accounts.
Yeah, actually, I was just talking in another server about this, about how there needs to be a list, and then I'm like, well, there was a list on this one site that I can't remember, and it was like a wiki site, but it wasn't a wiki site, it was similar, and I thought I bookmarked it, and I can't find it, but I was listed on there, and that's what counts, and I meant to go back and update it with my new name, but I can't find it. So,
damn.
Yeah, so if you know what I'm talking about with these vague words I'm using, send it to me and I'll look at it and maybe actually bookmark it somewhere I can remember. But yeah, like make your own wiki. Like there can be more than one wiki, you know? There can be more than one forum. There can be more than one, like it doesn't have to be like only, I was like, well, sorry, someone made like a Homestuck Discord. That's it. Someone is doing a Homestuck podcast. That's it. Do your own thing. Like there's always room for more people to do stuff, and you might just have this specific flavor of content that other people want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I distracted myself because I went to look up the thing, but we should all know that it's a bad idea for me to go look up things while I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, I guess you could just turn into Justin from My Brother, and
Yeah, basically.
just
That's
always
that's
Googling stuff.
that's me now. Except
That's
except unlike Justin, who actually like talks about the things he Googles, I just look them up for my own enjoyment and distract myself.
good. Fantastic. Good audio content.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah,
on top of it.
for real. Also, if you guys haven't realized, I probably should have said this at the beginning, but the Doom Timelines is the project that I promoted a couple months ago when I had this kind of like when I
Oh
needed kind of
yeah.
something to throw in here, and yeah, that was with my fic, meta
Yeah.
narrative circle jerk, in which I was the narrator and Domi was Dirk, and really, what more do you need?
Yeah, no, it was really good.
It was a lot of
Uh
fun.
I really enjoyed getting that one together. That one was you can go back and listen to it on this podcast still, or you could go listen to the version on TDT, which is mostly the same, or you can listen to both. I think the only difference is that the version that I threw on the actual podcast has the proper intro and outro, and the Mobius Trip and Hadron Collido skits are different, but both are canon, I guess. I should have probably done something better about that because it occurs to me now that I'm thinking about it that I gave information in the pilot on your show that I didn't give again when my show started. So now I will have to properly put that information in the show itself.
Yeah, so now you have a candy and meat timeline split. So we just have to figure out whose timeline is meat and whose timeline is candy.
Oh shit. Well, I'm pretty sure yours is you prefer meat, so yours is meat, and I'm candy because candy shows just how bad Jane is. It's a cruel irony.
Yeah, so in mine, my favorite character is the most problematic, and in yours, your favorite character is the most problematic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lose-lose scenario.
God, fucking epilogues.
They're whack.
Anyway,
I still haven't read them.
yeah, I still need to reread them, especially because I'm doing a fic based off of the meat side and a musical based off of the candy side.
Yeah, it would probably be good to reread them at some point.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we keep getting off topic because that's what we do.
It is what we do, but it's fine.
But the point is that Doom Timelines is great. Y'all should go check it out and support it. And I think it's going to be like, I think it's like one of the most important projects going on in this fandom right now.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I'm adorable. I
Thank
say
you.
all the cute things. Um,
I'm
but
glad you think that. Uh, we. I'm glad you think that my project is good. Not that you think you're cute. You are.
I definitely thought you were saying the latter. I just invite my friends on this show to roast me.
Yeah, no, that's basically all we do. I mean, you spend you spend any time off the show roasting us, so you know when it's public and actually matters, we got to turn the tables.
Yeah, I'm a lot nicer to you. It's mainly just Crow I roast.
This is true.
But everyone's way too nice to Crow. I gotta pop
Yeah,
that
you
ego sometimes.
gotta pop to the ego.
Yeah.
Anyway, I actually just on this day that we were recording, which is like way in the past for whoever's listening.
Years. I mean, technically, it might be one day, years in the past for whoever's listening. I'm not wrong.
Days in the past, but not many. I put out the new episode for TDT, the first new episode of the new year. We ended up taking a bit of a break in December because all the actors got super busy, and I didn't want to like push stress on them. But we are trucking along, working on concluding. Here Comes the First Step, which is a series of fics by my friend Find Specimen Retrieved that basically cover the idea of the kids and the trolls on Earthsea gave up their godhood so that they could grow old and die together, and now they've been reincarnated on Earth pregame at 13 years old, but and they still remember each other, but and all the trolls and everything, but they have no idea if the trolls are there, where they are, or how to reach them. And it's very sad and angsty. The first part was angsty not being a bad thing there. I like the fic a lot. The first one is about Kanaya and Rose from Rose's perspective, and that took 2 episodes. And now we're getting into the first episode of Carcat's perspective, trying to find Dave. And the first episode just came out for that, but there's going to be another one. And then lastly, there's going to be a nice little Meow Rails snippet at the end to clear us out. And then I'll finally be done with this thing, because I took on a huge fic, not anticipating how many episodes it was going to take me to get through it.
Yeah, it's a learning process. Like, this was like the second fic you chose or something, right?
Yeah, it was. Looking back, if I were going to choose this fic over again, I would probably take each of the individual fics out of the collection, and like I just run them individually, but like space them out a little more.
That makes sense. It's stuff to think about for the future.
But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's very cool. And then so we have that part came out today. The next part comes out in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, so you said this episode's going to release on the 22nd, right?
Is that next Wednesday?
That is next Wednesday.
Then yes.
Okay. So when your listeners are listening to this, if they are listening on release day, then the next
say they are.
Yeah, that's fair. The next episode of TDT will be a mere 4 days away from them on Sunday the 26th.
We're releasing on Sunday now, not Tuesday?
Oh no, you're right. It is Tuesday. So my bad. The 28th. How did I do that?
I don't know.
It's because
the auditions are starting on Sunday.
It's because auditions start on Sunday, and I had myself confused.
It's all good. It's fine. I get stuff confused all the time, so it's all good.
Yeah. We're just a couple of confused beans. It's fine.
It's fine. So that was very nice. This fic always makes me cry a little bit. Even this one, which wasn't even that sad because it was covering Carcat's side of things, so I already knew what would happen.
Yeah.
It still made me tear up in parts because I'm a baby.
Carcat's good, and this fic is really emotional. Like when I was editing this last episode, I had to go in and I had to DM the author and just like let them know just how good their writing is and like what I like about it. Because the Find Specimen Retrieved, or my friend, their name is Kate, and they're really good at like getting the narration into the character's head. You know, like a lot of times the narration will take a break from whatever is actively happening on screen so that the character can just think through all of the context of the scenario and go through all of the things that contribute into their current mental state so that you can get like really into the emotions of the character, and then it goes through the scene and helps, and with a far greater understanding of the emotional states present in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really well written fic. I remember reading it before we started recording it, and it's very, very nice.
I highly recommend you go read it. Go listen to it over again when we finish releasing the episodes, because my god, it's that good. And definitely leave kudos on the fic. I try to remind people at the end of every episode to go leave kudos on the fic if you enjoyed it. But
yeah, kudos and comments. I see people saying like, "Oh, I've already left a kudo. I wish I could leave more." The second kudo is a comment, even if your comment is just to say "second kudo."
Yeah, that means a lot.
Yeah, like there are some fics that I've gone back and read over and over again that I've just been like, "Hey, this is like my third time reading this. I love it."
Yeah.
And then I don't tell them the fifth or sixth time because I feel like I'm going to be weird about it, even though I wouldn't feel weird if someone did that to me.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard sometimes. But like that sort of shit really means a lot to all. You know,
Oh, yes.
like it will make an author's day if you comment on their fic just to say like even the tiniest things, the tiniest words of praise.
Yes. Just to
It makes it
say,
all
hey,
worth it.
I liked it. Another good tip is to just like copy one line you really liked and like paste it and just go like my favorite line or something. Like you don't have to get, I think some people feel like they have to get in-depth detailed reviews or something. It's like no, you
Mm-hmm.
just like do
Just
simple
let the
stuff.
author know you really liked it.
Yeah. It's super cool.
I really hope that after a while I can feature Kate and Kate's fix on the show more. I just want to do some other fix first because we've been at Kate's fix for months.
Yeah, yeah, we can't have a fic monopoly on some people, just like we can't have a voice monopoly on some
Mm-hmm.
people.
And that's another thing that I really wanted to do with this podcast is not just to get voice actors out there, but also to make fic more accessible. Because I know one of the reasons I didn't read a whole lot of fic before I started this show is because it's just hard sometimes to sit down and read something. And being able to listen to it makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely.
And I think having a platform to spread fic and make it more accessible and just get more lesser known fics out there is also really important.
Yeah. That's why again, that's why I think that like this is one of the most important projects because you're getting lesser known voice actors, you're getting people into voice acting, you're getting lesser known fics out there. Like it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just stroking my own ego. I did not come up with this. This was all Domi. I just helped out on the back end a bit.
Yeah, yeah. This was primarily by and large my idea. It actually sprung out because I had remembered seeing for a while I had seen a couple people tossing around this idea of like making podcasts similar to this or like putting podfic sections in some of their podcasts. But like anytime someone brought up the idea, no one ever went through with it, you know? So
Yeah.
like I just kind of got really frustrated and decided that, you know what, if no one else is going to follow, I'm going to.
Yeah, and you do a really good job of it. You do video. You do audio editing. You make
Uh-huh.
music for it. Like you made music for Phil's fic.
Oh god, that was insane. Never let me undertake a fic like that again.
I will do my best, or if you do, I
um
will give you another week of it and not have you staying up like the night before finishing.
yeah, no. So I one of our recent episodes was for a fic titled, I think it was I'm gonna miss something, but I'm gonna get close. Harley and the Neon Event or something like that. And it was a Jade fic about emotions on Earthsea and being lonely because Jade's a lonely girl. And she flew out into deep space and met up with Dave Petta, and they did this whole like universe music thing. And I decided that I was going to write a whole symphony for this song that was happening in the fic, and I stayed up till 7 a.m. The day before release, getting everything just right with this fic, and it turned out really well. It was really worth it.
Yeah, but also don't do that again.
I'll try not to.
um, but yeah, so again, this is a lot. Like I can just say over and over how important this is and how you guys should go
Mm-hmm.
support it. I mean it. Like this is like you can get on this and like have your voice out there and start your own projects or get on other projects and it's it's really
It's
really neat.
it's open to literally anyone. Like
It's open.
even if you think, "Oh god, I really want to get into voice acting or I really want to like get into writing or whatever, but I don't think I have this character voice. I don't think I could do the character voices I want to, or I don't think I could write well enough to do it." Do it anyway. You know, like come over and audition, even if you don't think your voice fits the character. Because like I said earlier, one of the things we really want to do here is to get different takes on characters out there. And you never know, something that you think isn't particularly great for the character, someone else might think is phenomenal.
Yeah. So yeah, check that out. It is at TDTcast on Twitter. I don't think you're on anywhere else. Do you have a Tumblr or anything yet?
No, I keep meaning to make a Tumblr, but I haven't because
That's
themes
fine.
are hard.
Themes are hard, and no one on Tumblr interacts with my podcast, so it's hard to put effort into it.
That's fair.
uh, but yeah, so check that out. And Domi also did the theme for my whole podcast, Dirty Dirt Kenny, available on SoundCloud. Domino Thief on SoundCloud. And anything else you want to plug?
You can follow my I guess you could call it a personal Twitter. It's mostly full of retweets of things that I like. At Domino Thief. What else is there? Go follow at Mina Quest on Twitter. I am currently working as a musician on that. It's going to be a Ren'Py remake of Openbound in sort of it more to make it more in the style of Pester Quest. Yeah, I think that's good for now.
Cool. And I'll have links to everything in the description. If you are on Spotify, I'm sorry Spotify hates you. I am going to find a suggestion box or something to talk to them about how they need to make their things better if they want to continue being a podcasting like hosting platform, which they are apparently trying to like really promote. But go to livelaughstuck.buzzsprout.com. I usually have that link clickable in the description that you could go to get all the links to everything that I have below and ways to follow me and Domi and support us in our endeavors. Also in there should be, or is actually, the new link for a new form I have for Fanstuck and how to submit yourself to get onto a Fanstuck episode. I've kind of constrained it a little bit. I'm trying to funnel and focus myself onto what I want on here, so hopefully that will be more clear in the form. Let me know if you have any questions about it, if anything is weird. You can always join my Discord and talk to me if you don't want to talk to me on Twitter or something. Also, you can just hang out in my Discord. That is linked below. Just a bunch of stuff are linked below. I'll talk more about this in the outro. It's all good. Just talk to me about stuff if you have any questions, and please submit your project, though I think I have the next two pretty down pat of what I want to do. So I'm very excited to have those. Also, this is my podcast, so I get to promote non-Homestuck stuff. So
Yeah,
my non-Homestuck
tracks.
thing, yeah, is I am working on a visual novel called Change Your Fae. It is currently available on amberlin.itch.io. It is a demo version that has my art on it and isn't as fleshed out as I want it to be. My art is bad. This isn't a dunk on me. It's just not to the quality of a professional visual novel. I currently have a sprite artist. I am looking for a background artist. You can find more information about it on Change Your Fae, that is Fae, on Twitter, which I have linked on my Twitter if you follow that already, and just check it out. Let me know if you're interested in it. Let me know if there are any bugs. I also have more information about that in my server. So please, I'm really excited about it. My goal for 2020 is to make this a fully fledged visual novel with a Kickstarter, and I'm talking way more about it than I intended to, but whatever, it's my podcast.
If I may, I do highly recommend you check it out. It is very cool. It is everything that I could ever want out of a thing. It's perfect. It has urban fantasy. It has tricksy fae. It's queer. It's all about toppling a corrupt government. Go check it out.
Since we're talking way more about it than I intended, I will also say you get to choose which species of supernatural creature you get, and it does affect choices you have throughout the game. So, yeah, it's queer. You get to be a supernatural creature. It's very good, if I say so myself.
Well, luckily you don't have to, because I'm here to tell them that it's very good.
Yes. So yeah, keep an eye on that. This will be something I'll be talking about a lot. Hopefully not so much on this podcast, but you never know.
I mean, hey, it is your podcast.
It is my podcast. My podcast, my rules. But I feel like I've rambled enough about everything. The point, the takeaway point is go check out the Doomed timelines, and if you want your project to be featured on here, fill out the form linked below. And I will see you guys next week. And what episode it will be is surprising because it's 2 weeks out. I have no idea. The future is scary. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, really quick at the end here. So I've mentioned a couple times how everyone should make their own podcast. If you don't want to know where to start, check out Buzzsprout. It's what I use. It's a lot of fun. It makes everything really easy to get it onto iTunes, which gets it onto like everything except for Spotify, which Buzzsprout also helps you get it on. Buzzsprout also has a bunch of guides on how to start out your podcast and how to keep growing it. And if you use the link I have in the description, you also get a $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up for a paid account. It's really neat. Definitely check it out if you're interested in starting your own podcast. And thank you guys again for listening, and I will see you all next week. This podcast's theme is Dirty Dirt Kitty and was created by Domi, who can be found on SoundCloud as Domino Thief. Shout out to my regulars and up on Patreon, Space Arby's. To become a patron and get episodes up to 5 days early, along with many other benefits, including but not limited to access to bloopers and original writing, physical merch, and the opportunity to get your questions and comments on the show, go to patreon.com/sociallyanxiousdragon and sign up for as little as $1 a month. You can find links to that and more in the episode's description, on the podcast's Twitter, LiveLaughStuck, or on livelaughstuck.com. Please remember to rate this podcast on your app of choice and share with your friends. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to be a little selfish.